Welcome to Macro Bites with Greg Daco, EY-Parthenon Chief Economist. In this episode, Greg is joined by Stephanie Chesnick, EY America's Strategy and Transactions Energy and Resources Leader.
Stephanie, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
We have an environment where inflation is still very much a concern and cost fatigue is affecting a number of sectors. In the energy space in particular, we're seeing an environment where the cost of capital, the cost of equipment, the cost of labor, and even interest rates are hindering business investment activity. And at the same time, we have more pricing sensitivity, right? So how are companies approaching this from a cost efficiency perspective?
Our clients are very mindful of cost efficiency and cost containment and some of the factors that you pointed out. Because of the sheer scale of the types of investments that we make in the energy space, anytime that we have elevated rates of return, when equipment prices are higher, labor costs that are high, it has a meaningful impact on the economics and therefore the profitability of investments that our clients are making. While we expect that rates of return will come down over time, we do not expect that the focus on cost containment, on optimization is going to go away anytime soon.
So it's still going to be an area of key focus no matter what, right?
Absolutely. And as a result, our clients are looking at every element of their operations and understanding where can they make supply chain adjustments in order to react to increases in costs along the way. Where can they access capital from different sources in order to ensure that the rates of return are as low as possible in order to gain access to those funds. And importantly, looking at elements of productivity within their operations.
Productivity is key, right? Can you perhaps give us some examples of how companies are at the same time as they're focused on cost efficiency, productivity, helping drive stronger balance sheets?
Absolutely. We're seeing a lot of transaction activity in the market. I'm sure you're observing, it seems like every day we're seeing new deals announced. Some of those are investing to strengthen the core businesses. At the same time, we're seeing companies make decisions to divest non-core assets. And the reason that they're doing that is they want to ensure that they have the capital within their balance sheet to deploy in the future in order to make the most meaningful investments.
There's also this dimension at the same time where you have a lot of policies that have been supportive of greater investment, in particular the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, the Inflation Reduction Act. Both of these measures drive, or are attempting at least to drive, stronger investment via subsidies, tax credits, which is a little bit different than the traditional approach to the energy transition, which has been more of a tax imposition or more of a carbon pricing type of system. Can you tell us a little bit more about how companies are riding this policy wave?
What we are seeing is a significant increase in the capital that's flowing into the U.S. We're working to evaluate a pipeline of investments over a period of time. In doing that, it's not only about evaluating the supply chain considerations, but also looking at consistent governance. How do they enact a playbook so that there's consistency in how they manage and execute the process? At the same time, it means working with our teams that are extremely deep in tax policy and the different funding sources available to evaluate those decisions. We're helping them to ensure that they are maintaining flexibility wherever possible to deploy that capital and also to access funding sources.
We know that the geopolitics of this is extremely important in today's environment. We're seeing a number of highly visible conflicts around the world that are affecting all sectors. Can you give us some examples, perhaps, as to how companies are dealing with this uneven and uncomfortable balance between resilience and energy transition?
The U.S., particularly the U.S. oil and gas industry, has recognized their critical role to energy stability and reliability and affordability globally. At the same time, it is important to make sure that we don't lose sight of long-term goals around decarbonization and around the energy transition. And so what that has meant has differed from company to company.
Yes, it's a complicated picture that you just painted because companies really have to focus on a number of things. What would you say are the top strategies for companies in the energy and resources space?
The first thing is really understanding supply and demand requirements and infrastructure investments go forward, and thinking about that holistically as they make capital plans for the future. The second priority is to ensure a strong balance sheet. So whether that means thinking about divesting non-core assets, whether it means taking it back to basics and really understanding how to optimize performance, but spending some serious time ensuring that they have a strong balance sheet for the future. And then the third priority in my mind is making sure that our clients are taking advantage of all of the new funding sources that are available, whether that be through policies that have been enacted, whether it means identifying new partners, but making sure that they're taking advantage of and accessing all of the new capital that's coming into the sector.
So there's a lot to focus on. Thanks very much, Stephanie. We shared a lot of insights as to how to navigate this ever-changing environment.
Thank you so much for having me.
Tune in next time for another episode of Macro Bites.